humility and appreciation, and with a great sense that they belong to my ancestors, especially the women in my family. Thank you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it for the long haul, baby. So it's been a very interesting 2024. We've had some ups and downs. We've taken some losses, lost some people. One of those people would be Bob Ingram. His homegoing service is today and tomorrow. The wake's today, or the viewing is today, and tomorrow is the homegoing service. For those who do not know, Bob Ingram was a great mentor, a great teacher. Originally born in New York City, he let that be known, but he loved Baltimore, and he loved the people in Baltimore. Heavy into media, in the whole circle of Dr. Tyrone Taborn and Edwin Avent and Black professional men. Omar Muhammad and I were, I guess, both fortunate. I remember riding in a car with them one day, and Bob was certainly the big brother. As a matter of fact, as we have now done the Black Wall Street in 9 cities, it was because of Mr. Ingram that we did our first event in New York City at the United Nations. How's that? How's that for sharing? He was the kind of person who knew a lot of things, but what was most beautiful is that he didn't mind sharing, particularly if you had an interest. I know in my latest book, he put some words in there. I believe the foreword. Just a remarkable person. Heart of gold. We were able to recognize him about a year and a half ago at Black Wall Street, Towson. We had never done a Black Wall Street up in Towson before. And he touched a lot of people. I got a phone call maybe 3 weeks ago from Tony Robinson. And she says, it's not looking good. I tell you, I've been to, like many of you, I've been to a lot of funerals and lost a lot of people, particularly through this COVID pandemic. Of course, we're post-pandemic now. A lot of people still carry scars from that. It was trauma, truth be told. The pandemic has caused a lot of trauma, but through that, there have been a lot of funerals, and some I made and some I didn't make. And some people wanted me to be certain places. And I tell you, for the sake of your own mental health, you got to do what's best for you. You can't be everything to everybody and not be there for yourself. You want to go to all of these things. You want to go to all of these funerals. You want to show your love for all of these people, especially when you know a lot of people. But the truth of the matter is, for the sake of your own well-being, sometimes it's best to take care of yourself. Growing up in the funeral industry, one might think, oh, well, Doni, you should be used to funerals. You should, I tell you, when the shoe is on the other foot, And for me, that came in 1985 when my own mom got her wings. I tell you, you can have all of the preparation in the world, but when that shoe is on the other foot, when the rubber meets the road, when reality versus fiction is right in your face, it's a whole different ball game. And so one of the things I do try to do, even with Chu Smith, he recently lost his mom. Whether you go to the wake and the funeral, or wake or the funeral or not, what you can do, what I found simple, is just pick up the phone. Say, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm hoping you can pull through. Share some kind words. Share some laughter. If you know me, you know I'm going to be comedic. I'm going to try to find your soft spot and make you laugh. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help each other, encourage each other, lift each other up, no matter what. I've been experiencing some challenges with this whole internet thing. I've tried everything, and I tell you, I've gotten word from across the country that we aren't the only ones dealing with some internet challenges. I'm familiar with the internet speed tests and these various things, but there's something going on nationally. I've talked to people across the country, and there's something going on nationally where internet speed is fluctuating. I don't know if you have experienced it, but I've certainly done some research. So I thought it was me. I thought it was my internet, my hot box, my direct connect, but it is a national issue. And I tell you, on that note, with TikTok being banned come, I think, January 20th or somewhere round about, some $24 billion in commerce and business is going straight out the window. Gone, never to return. And a lot of small businesses depend on TikTok. TikTok is, I personally like it, but there are those who think it should be banned. And I tell you, when you look at China and the influence of TikTok, you know, many Americans have it. It's just another change. And we have learned that. If you've been following the internet, I've been online since about 95, so almost 30 years. You know that what can go wrong will go wrong. You've learned, I've learned, particularly managing b1news.com and now Black USA, that there will always be something. There will always be some change, some fluctuations, some redirection. There always will be. And so if one is committed to working websites and online shows, then you know it comes with the territory. You just have to adapt. And that's what we have been striving to do. So on a little more cheerful note, I would like to share with you, if you will, what we were able to do with the Black Wall Street soiree. That happened earlier this month. It was our annual fundraiser, if you will. We were able to host it down at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center. Among our honorees were April Watts. We also had a whole line of honorees. Tawanda Livingston from Constellation Energy. She was a huge help make everything really nice. Special thank you to Mr. Wayne Frazier. Another honoree was Dr. Franklin Lance. Dr. Franklin Lance has a church up on Reisterstown Road, and he's also the executive director of Parks and People. There were a few of you who didn't make it, and I will speak with you one-on-one. But Patty Smith came there. Patty Smith, she's the outreach director for the Sankofa Children's Museum of African Cultures. Special thank you to Treyway Multi-Services Treatment Center. Varney Trey Richardson, he was a huge help. Again, April Watts, radio personality. She was one of our honorees as well. April has such a following of people. People love her authenticity. She's original, one and only. Angelo Cooper, real estate mogul, doing business not just here in Baltimore, but internationally. Angelo and I go back to the mid-90s up at Coppin State University. He was in media, and now he's doing things like buying properties, building properties in Costa Rica. Very proud of you, Angelo. Big time sponsor of this event, along with Trey Richardson and Trey Multi-Services Treatment Center. Dapper Luke was an honoree. He's a clothier. As a matter of fact, his brother came in his stead. Dapper is located down in Virginia Beach. His brother runs the shop here in Baltimore. Ursula Battle, oh my goodness. Please, let's not forget Ursula Battle. Years ago, when I first started writing citywide, I started here in Sandtown, but when I started writing citywide for the Afro, for the Baltimore Times, and we're talking about 1999, 2000, 2001, Ursula Battle was the reporter around town. Before her, I remember Kevin Brown, downtown Kevin Brown. He now owns Nancy by Snack. But Ursula, oh my goodness, she was just a phenomenal reporter, a spectacular reporter, tenacious, thorough. She did a series I'll never forget on unsolved murders here in the city of Baltimore. And she made it her business to make sure that the police were on point, that we're watching you, that no matter what you do, if you're not looking out for the community, then we're watching you. So Alicia Wilson, that was our keynote. Miss Venerable Davis, that's Patty Smith. John Lee, he was an honoree by Sisters for Sisters Network. Got to put a word in. That was Mr. Lindsey Johnson. Got to put a word in for Mr. Wayne Frazier, and also for Peggy Smith. So Peggy Morris of Sisters for Sisters Network. First, let me give you Wayne Frazier's nominees: Donna Venerable Davis, Ben Morgan, Tawanda Livingston, Joseph Woodson, Shemaine Pollard, Lindsey Johnson, Marvin Jackson, and Harley Flack. And then from Sisters for Sisters, and these are honorees: Connie Bell, that's Peggy's baby sister; Delana Watkins. Delana has a wellness center right there in the 400 block of North Howard Street. Donetta Mooring, Angela James, we mentioned John Lee, Mary Merle, Chad Williams of Wanata. He had some honorees, including Visionary Venture Partners. And that Visionary Venture Partners, for those who don't know Wanata, that's the West North Avenue Development Authority. They were Wanata has just been a dream client. But Visionary Venture Partners, one of the partners is Kathy Robertson. and she and I worked together in Sandtown, Winchester. And we're talking about, the mid 90s, 94, 2000. Kathy has always cared about Sandtown. She lived here. She's now doing more work citywide, developing properties, not afraid of the inner city. A lot of times, people comment on Sandtown, on East Baltimore, and they haven't spent a lick of time in these communities. You'll come to find out that if you spend a little time there, that the people here are just like people anywhere else. Sure, we have our challenges, we have our issues, just like any other community, but there's a lot of love in East and West Baltimore. And I tell you what, if you fall down, somebody will pick you up. So big ups to Kathy Robertson for continuing to do the work in the community. So for those who don't know, the Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Awards, which we feature at our events, the Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Award, with that, we celebrate Black entrepreneurs and professionals, as well as the people who support them regardless of race. This particular event, the soiree, back on December the 5th, special thanks to Treyway Multi-Treatment Services, also to Mr. Rondi Griffin, and again to Angelo Cooper. Angelo, again, is a real estate mogul right here in the city of Baltimore. But with all of that, he still will help you get an apartment, help you get a place to stay. On many occasions, I've sent people to him, as well as Tammy Moore, Tammy Rollins out in Owens Mills. We believe in promoting those businesses that have supported us over the past 22 years. So whether it's real estate, whether it's contracting, I mentioned Wayne Frazier earlier. He has the Maryland Washington Minority Companies Association. If you have the need for electrical work or plumbing work or brick masons, you need brick masonry, cement, what have you, as well as other companies. They are a part of the Maryland Washington Minority Companies Association, MWMCA.org. They just had an event last week down at Live, and he's been a strong advocate. I should also mention that Sheila Dixon graced the soiree. Sheila Dixon, former mayor of Baltimore, and of course, she runs the Maryland Minority Contractors Association. So those are two important associations, particularly if you're in the realm, if your work is in the realm of construction, houses. R.E. Harrington is a member of MWMCA. R.E. Harrington is the largest minority underground utility contractor in the city of Baltimore. If you have any need for licensed people, then you want to know about the MMCA and the MWMCA. They both help our people. Bottom line, they both help our people. They both help the community. They help these businesses get contracts. There was a show I did maybe 3 weeks ago, and a young man and I had a little back and forth about the significance of minority business enterprise programs. Let me tell you, I'm for prime contracts. And that's what I did like about the Republicans who were working here in the state of Maryland, Ehrlich and Hogan. They were interested, from my perspective, in affording small businesses like mine prime contracts. Me, myself, I do not want to be a sub. Personally, I do not want a subcontract. I want to be a prime. These same politicians come to me when they want to run for office, and there's no question about subbing a prime, and I'm a prime. Fundamentally, I don't think I have to prove that I'm a black man. The very fact that I'm alive and in America, you can look at me and tell I'm a black man. But that's not how it works with the whole minority business enterprise program. You fill out a lot of paperwork, and you got to dance to the song, and you still have to compete for contracts. I'm old fashioned. I believe in picking up this phone, making a phone call, and getting some business with whomever, government, individuals, what have you. But with the whole minority business enterprise, it's a whole different game. And it is for some people. Some people have done very well, extremely well in it. I'm not knocking it. But I'm saying for me, I like business the old-fashioned way. A white guy doesn't have to prove he's white. I don't think I need to prove I'm black. I think I have more than a track record qualifying me to do the work. And like I say, when they're running for office, you can't keep them off the phone. Sometimes, some politicians, once they get into office, they don't know your number no more until the next election. But we'll leave well enough alone. Do support our advertisers, including Mr. Robert DeShield, attorney at law, Habitat for Humanity. They've been a long-time supporter of our work. Terra Cafe is still over there doing catering. Commercial group, Mr. Kevin Johnson. He's been in business quite some time. Phenomenal businessman. And is also our newest advertiser. Not well, they're new but not new. They just signed up for 6 months of advertising. STEM City USA. Special thank you to Dr. Tyrone Taborn, the visionary leader that helps the show to be on the metaverse, Salvation Army. Billy Murphy, we interviewed him yesterday, and I'll save the rest of that for later. Next Phase Cafe. My man Kevin Setzer with Edible Arrangements. Do support our local businesses. We spend $1.6 trillion annually, annual disposable income. We spend a lot of money. Black people, African Americans, people from the continent, people of the dark hue. We spend 1.6. That's a lot of money. $1.6 trillion. That's what we have to spend. We got to better target that money. That's what Black Wall Street is all about, better supporting the businesses that hire in our community. As former Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford says, nobody hires Black people more than Black people, especially given some of our unique situations. And I'm talking about mass incarceration, a 70% recidivism rate in the Black community. It is imperative that we support our businesses. We are not victims. We are not victims. We are victors. If we think we're victims, then we'll be victims. If we think we're victors, we will be victors. This Friday past, I had the distinct opportunity. Many of you know that I go to school. I'm finishing up my master's in journalism, Morgan State University, national treasure, #national treasure. I had a chance. Now, I graduated from Coppin. That was what, 96. So this is almost, shucks, 28 years later. I go to this graduation Friday at Morgan State University, early in the morning. It was an enriching experience. If you want to be inspired, go to a graduation. And for me, it was at Morgan State University. Over 450 people. And you get the story on bmorenews.com. You'll even get to see some footage. 450 individuals getting doctorates, masters, bachelor's degrees, donned in blue robes. Of course, the PhD candidates, they have a very special robe. I think their robes cost damn near $1,000. it was just really, really inspiring to go through the halls. I saw Congressman Mfume. I saw the mayor of Pittsburgh. I saw other, what's that committee called? It escapes. The regents, people on the board at Morgan. And they were, I mean, they just looked beautiful. And to see so many young Black men, young Black women receiving their degrees that they earned. So no more, you know, all of the tests and exams and home assignments and missed assignments and makeup, all of that stuff was gone. Nothing was important but walking across that stage. That's all that was important. That was the only thing that was important, walking across that stage, and to see so many beautiful faces and their families, oh my God, the excitement. This is early on a Friday morning. The excitement was through the roof. I loved it. I totally loved it. My daughter will be graduating soon with her bachelor's degree. That's why I need to get on and get my doctorate, because little Watoto will not catch me. That's not happening. We can graduate together, but I'm going to get that PhD first. Yes, this is a family competition. And what better competition to have in your family but education? Education is everything. Education is the difference maker. It's empowering. Learning, you know, your craft, learning your skills, learning your industry, learning about your passion, education, learning your history, learning our history, your collective history as a Black people, but also your family's history. A lot of us, you know, nothing irks me more when I hear a young performer say, I came from the bottom. Did you look up your family tree? Because you might look up your family tree. Yeah, your mom might have lived in the projects. Your grandma might have lived in the projects. But I assure you, if you dig far enough up your family tree, you're going to find some greatness. Innately. So no, we don't come from the bottom. We come from royalty. We come from greatness. We come from some ancestors who endured what has not been endured. And we are victors, not victims. I think a lot of times we fall into this victim mentality too often. I'm not a victim. Many of us have experienced some type of victimizing situation, whatever it is, even getting stuck up out here in the streets of Baltimore, New York, whatever, LA. But when I look at the bigger picture, there's a song that says, my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. You won't get no complaining here. I'm grateful. Try not to complain. If I catch myself complaining, gotta smack myself on the hand. Nothing but gratefulness, gratitude. Just the fact that we woke up. I have a little saying, I woke up, I'm winning. I learned that somewhere in the city of Baltimore. I woke up, I'm winning. Say it to yourself. I woke up, I'm winning. I'm winning. Somebody didn't wake up this morning. So all I got is just, Lord, just wake me up and I'll do the rest. I can move my fingers, I can move my toes, move my legs, I can see, I can smell. Somebody right now with shock trauma can't breathe. Somebody had to get a stent put in their heart. And some people just died. So 2024 has been very good for us. We're going to start off January 4th, as you can see at the bottom, with the Black Wall Street Summit, the New Year's Summit. New Year Empowerment Summit. And this will be at the Sankofa Children's Museum of African Cultures. If you've never been there, let me tell you, it is a very beautiful place, loaded with African artwork, sculptures, masks, artifacts, straight from Africa. I, for one, am very proud of Africa and my connection to Africa. And I hope you are too. I've had some conversations up at the Sankofa. It takes me back to the days of Dr. Patricia Newton, the late psychologist who treated many people. She certainly gave me some therapy over the years. She was best friends with Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Dr. Newton forecasted that I would be going to Africa years before I went. She said, "You will be going." And I made it to Africa. Ethiopia was the first country that I was blessed to go to, the capital of Africa. So yeah, my good days outweigh my bad days. And Africa, to me, every black person should know something about Africa. Every black person should be able to name at least some of the countries in Africa. Egypt, everybody knows Egypt. Ethiopia, just told you that. Djibouti, Algeria, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Burkina Faso, Nigeria. Everybody knows Nigeria. That's the largest, most populated country in Nigeria. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has the oldest black newspaper in Africa. That was where the first black newspaper started. Before the one in the United States, before the one in Haiti. Kenya, Tanzania. I've been to Tanzania. Morocco, Liberia. American expatriates went back to Liberia. British expatriates went back to Sierra Leone. There's South Africa. That's Botswana, Namibia, Madagascar, the island. We all should know something about Africa, especially black people in America. We should also know that there are black people all throughout South America who speak Spanish, mostly. Mexico, Colombia. Black people have been all over the world. We're the first travelers, so don't get me started on the whole history tip, but we all should know something about Africa. And so the first Saturday of the new year, we will have the Black Wall Street New Year Empowerment Summit. We have a phenomenal list of speakers. I will share some of them in some future broadcasts. But for now, mark your calendars. Saturday, January 4th will be a bang, and it's free. Special thank you to WNADA, West North Avenue Development Authority. That's the $28 million project on West North Avenue, designed to bring a whole new look, whole new vibe, whole new understanding to West North Avenue. And we send many thanks to 3 people in particular. It started with Senator Antonio Hayes. It was established under the past governor, Boyd Rutherford, who was very instrumental in helping WNADA get established. And then the current governor has done a ginormous job funding it. Westmore gave WNADA $11 million and then $17 million, roughly $28 million. And this is for facade, for transportation, buying up some of these vacant properties. I remember when Freddie Gray, and 2025 represents 10 years since Freddie Gray, remembering what West North Avenue looked like. The reporters came here from other countries and they were like, you know, what's going on here? Did the riots cause these vacant houses? No, that's the Hurricane Katrina that we deal with on a daily basis. And that goes to the book that speaks about the black owl and the white butterfly. East and West Baltimore tends to get the tail end of funding. The White L, which is Johns Hopkins University down to the harbor and over the East Harbor, actually a backwards L, gets the funding, gets the lion's share of the funding. You look at some of these citywide organizations, and I won't call names today, but their focus is always on downtown. And then you look at downtown, and downtown is dead. Maybe you should invest that money on the people. Maybe you should invest that money more in the communities. There's no reason why Sandtown doesn't have a recreation center. I don't care how many people live here. That's one of the excuses that they give us. Well, you don't have enough people to get a recreation center. You don't have enough people to get a new school. Why not? When did you have to have a certain amount of people? These are the excuses. So, yes, I'm all for having blacks in prominent positions, but if it doesn't translate into the empowerment of the community, what the hell we need you for? Bob Ehrlich. No one expected Bob Ehrlich to give Coppin State more money than it ever got before. And I say that because, a lot of times, we as black people are, and I'm talking about in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, we're heavily Democrat. The Democrats have been denying, have been ignoring the black community all of my life. Why did it take a damn Republican to fund Coppin State? Why? Tell me why. Why am I voting for people who won't even fund institutions in my neighborhood, in my community? So that's a part of our job at B1 News, is to hold our elected officials accountable. Really. And you don't get a pass because you're black. You don't get a pass because you just don't get a pass. If you're in position to help our communities, then we'd like to see more people like a Senator Antonio Hayes bring $28 million back to the community. That's what we would like to see. Period. End of story. No excuses. Bring that money on home. Look out for the community. So again, I encourage you to sign up for the Black Wall Street New Year Empowerment Summit on January the 4th. Let me share with you some of the people that we have lined up. And I'm very proud of this list. Are you ready? So I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I wasn't going to do it at first, but here we go. There'll be a panel discussion. We'll be talking about community economic development. Our moderator is Diane Bell McCoy. And panelists include Baltimore Main Street's Charlotte Nader, Park Heights Renaissance's Yolanda Jiggets, Kioba's Rennie Bass, and Notre Maison's Jackie Cummings. Jackie runs Black Wall Street, 25th Street. She does an event twice a year that brings together more black businesses in one place than I've seen here locally, established businesses. And she owns like 5 properties on West 25th Street. Rennie Bass, he's from Kioba, Keeping It 100 Black Men's Association. These brothers pay $200-300 joining fee, and then a couple $100 every month. And to date, they have about $2.2 million in assets. Charlotte Nader's with Baltimore Main Streets. That includes Bel Air Edison. It includes Pennsylvania Avenue, Park Heights, Greenmount Avenue. And these are corridors, many of which are in the black community where we have black businesses, and we need to be supportive of them. Diane Bell McCoy, of course, ran the $100 million federally funded empowerment zone. She also ran Associated Black Charities. And so we're going to have a discussion about community economic development. We're also going to have a workshop, and our facilitator is Carl Brown. Carl Brown is the director of the Washington, D.C. Small Business Development Center, which has a litany of resources on the campus of Howard University. He'll be facilitating a workshop which includes social media, which includes business law, which includes advertising. Our presenters include Erica Alston Buck. You've seen her on this network. Attorney Robert DeShields, Kenny Brown. Kenny Brown was the first Black in the advertising department at the News American. And yours truly, Doni Glover, publisher of BeMoreNews.com and also author of the book that came out this year, Journalpreneur. And we're going to look at some resources, business planning, digital marketing, accessing funding, navigating the board of estimates here in the city of Baltimore. You know, you really want to hear from Bob DeShields. All of our panelists are exceptional. Bob DeShields has helped navigate a lot of contracts for a lot of people here. We will also have a keynote by Mr. Chad Williams of Winata. Chad's going to talk about Baltimore's moment. $28 million coming to West North Avenue. And then another panel, our moderator is Mr. Ricky Smith. He's the CEO of BWI Airport. Panelists include Dr. Tyrone Taborn from STEM City, USA. Thank you, Dr. Taborn. Also, DeJuan Claiborne from the Central Maryland Chamber. We also have Senator Antonio Hayes. I've spoken about him earlier, Maryland General Assembly. And Michael Haney from Maryland Hospitality Training. And of course, we will feature the Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Awards. So we have a beautiful Saturday, first Saturday of the new year, the New Year Empowerment Summit. Get the ball rolling. Start 2025 with a bang. No playing. We're serious. I'm very serious. And we want you to be a part of it. So RSVP today, the Black Wall Street Summit 2025.eventbrite.com. I think that covers just about everything that I wanted to share in this update right here on blackusa.news. Oh, almost forgot. Prince George's County. Now that Angela Alsobrooks is the one of two U.S. senators here in the state of Maryland, Chris Van Hollen being the other. Ben Cardin stepped down. Angela Alsobrooks has left the seat open, and a few people want it. Jolene Ivey wants it. Calvin Hawkins wants it. Aisha Braveboy wants it. I know Aisha has been eyeing it the longest from my perspective. That's just my perspective. You may have your own. Aisha is currently the state's attorney. And she's looking to make the same transition as did Angela Alsobrooks, who went from state's attorney to county executive. And there's also an interesting period out in Baltimore County now that Johnny Olszewski is a congressman. His seat is open, and the question is who is going to fill it. We have one gentleman on this show who is interested in being the interim county executive, that is for the next 2 years until the next election. So as we head into 2025, politically, I'm looking forward to seeing who is positioning themselves for the 2026 race. That'll be the next statewide election. From governor to attorney general to comptroller. I know Brooke Learman has her eyes on, she probably wished that Wes Moore ran and won the presidency. I know Brooke Learman would love to be governor, at least I presume so. Can't imagine not. I forgot to mention Jill Carter, another thing in politics. Congratulations to Judge Jill Carter. She was nominated yesterday by the governor to be a judge, and now you're going to have a little tussle. State Central Committee will have to come in and vote for someone to replace Jill Carter as the next senator of the 41st District. That's going to be interesting. I would imagine Malcolm Ruff wants to be on it. The next television show, we did one already on Channel 2. Our next show will be on December the 22nd in a few days. It'll be a collabo show. Special thank you to Ronnie Griffin. The 22nd, stay tuned. I'll keep you, I'll have details for you here. I love being back on television, no question. It's expensive. We have a plan, keep it going, always looking for long-term supporters, long-term advertisers. So again, many thank yous to the people who have kept us afloat over the years and over this past year, including Dr. Tyrone Taborn, Chesapeake Habitat, Commercial Construction, Next Phase Cafe. Big ups to Tony. Got some mean collard greens. Salvation Army, Attorney Robert Shields, the EMOD Center, also Attorney Billy Murphy, Falcon and Murphy. I love supporting these businesses because they have been so supportive of me. I don't have to change who I am. I don't have to conform. People accept me exactly for who I am. You know, a lot of times you get on some of these networks, and big ups to those Black reporters who can go to some of the mainstream outlets. But this is, to me, more important, being able to speak our truth, to speak to our people in an unapologetically Black fashion. No slight to any other group of people. But we know here in the city of Baltimore, in a majority Black city, we need real news, real information, not sugar-coated. Tell you the truth, I have not watched the news in going on 2.5 months. I'm getting my news mostly online, on the computer. I can't say that I'm thrilled by what I hear on mainstream news. My community is always painted in a certain way, and I'm not a victim. I just don't like half of the story. We don't hear about the positive that happens in our community. If it leads, it bleeds, and that's what the mainstream does. So we don't get to hear about people who are doing great things in the community. It's all about who's, you know, what comes on the news, who shot somebody, what bank got robbed, who started a war. We need to hear some stories about graduation rates. We need to hear some stories about people overcoming cancer. We need to hear some stories about people coming home from prison after 20, 30 years, and now they're running a company with 200 people. Or now they're buying properties and rehabbing houses. And that's what this network is committed to, giving the unadulterated truth about our community from a positive perspective, a positive standpoint, constructive, not destructive. If I never watch Fox again in life, it's all right with me. We know our history. We know the struggles of people from Willie Adams to Victorine Adams to Tom Smith, who was running numbers before Willie Adams came on the scene. We know the story of the Goon Squad. We know the story of Hose Heights, independent Black community next door to Roland Park, that was treated greasy back then in 1910 and treated greasy now in the 2020s. We know about Morgan Park and Wilson Park, independent Black communities in parts of town that you would not believe. Blacks even lived in Cross Keys, but they will never tell you that. But I'll tell you this, if there's one thing I plan to advocate more for in this upcoming year, 2025, is more Black history in public education. We have a Black governor. We have people down in Florida that want to ban books. This is the home state of Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, two of the greatest people in Black history, period, end of story. W.B. Du Bois, my favorite philosopher, favorite intellectual. He spent time in Baltimore. Our people need to know this. Our people need to know about the accomplishments that Black people have made and have always made. It gets watered down too much. We shouldn't be in our 50s learning about Black Wall Street. We should grow up knowing it. Knowing that there wasn't just Black Wall Street in Tulsa. There was Black Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina. There was another Black Wall Street in Richmond. Those are the three official ones: Tulsa, Durham, Richmond. But there were also Black Wall Streets wherever there were Black people. Independent Black towns. 500 independent Black towns in East Texas alone. Oklahoma had 70 to 80 Black towns. You can get my book, I Am Black Wall Street. Has a lot of this history in it. Available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I've written 3 books: Unapologetically Black, I Am Black Wall Street, and most recently, Journalpreneur. Like journalism, Journalpreneur. And they're all available on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. And if you're looking for some children's books, do check out David Miller. David Miller has some about 14 children's books. So do support our local authors and artists. Support Black business in general. It should be a no-brainer. It should be second nature. We need to recirculate those Black dollars in the community. I tell you, as a Black business person, there's nothing more rewarding to me than being able to make money and then to pay Black people, to hire Black people, to hire people in my community. And yes, I like being the boss. I like being able to hire people. I like being able to help people put food on their table in a constructive way other than selling dope. Let the mainstream news paint the picture. That's what we're good at, selling dope and dancing and singing. Billy Murphy said that, and you will enjoy the Billy Murphy interview that will air on December 22nd. He said yesterday in the interview that when it comes to entertainment, that's what we are allowed to do. We are allowed to shine, in singing and dancing. We're allowed that in America. But let us get into something serious, more serious. Now, I'm not knocking the arts, but we're talking about law, medicine, construction, pharmacy, engineering. We're shunned. We're shunned in those areas. We're not as celebrated. They want to hear us sing. They want to see us dance. That's not all that we do. Black people are inventors. We invented so many things that are used today, including a refrigerated truck. Anyway, my name's Doni. Last name's Glover. Entered to win it for the long haul, baby. Again, do support our advertisers, our sponsors, the Imad Centers, right there in the 2100 block of West North Avenue. They sell Douglas High School gear, trying to get them to take on some new schools, some other schools. I know Dunbar is probably not likely to come over on the west side, but big ups to Rashid Aziz and the work that he is doing to create opportunities for our young people. Have a beautiful day. My name is Doni Glover, and we will see you next time.